ouvrir la conférence de presse. Vu qu'ils ont leur car partiality, la question ça va être qu'allez-vous faire et vous allez voir des questions en anglais et la presse espagnole et la presse française. Donc moi je fais partie. Allez. Et là ce qu'il faut voir c'est toutes les médias qui passent les micros pour entendre les réponses.
Thanks everyone, when you're ready.
You've had to do a bit of time without them, but how nice, I suppose, how important to get that into quartet back in the group and get some game time?
Yes.
Oh, it's great. You know, it's they've been on that list for a few too many weeks, but that's what happens. But you know, we used last week, I thought, really well in terms of getting their progression to play, and you know, really confident. Obviously, with Shannon and Geordie, we've been able to get them in the starting lineup. I think with Tyrell, it's a good chance for him to get some time under his belt off the bench. But we all know how much we rate him. And with Sam, he needed to really needed to tick a few boxes at the first two trainings of this week, which is why we gave him time to do that by starting him off the bench.
In terms of Damien's role onto the bench, you haven't, I think this will be the first time this year we've seen Richie, Damien and Bowden all in the 23.
You sure it's the first?
Is it?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
You guys obviously do your research, but go and check it. No, I reckon he's earned the right to do that. He's playing well, training well, and again, it's a chance for us to look at how we can inject him into that space. It obviously changes the configuration and the coverage of what we've got in the backs, but we've been working on that.
Ian, what do you think about Italy saying they're ready for the All Black Bullies?
Ready for the what, sorry?
All Black Bullies.
Bullies. What was the Italian word they used?
We didn't use that word.
Yeah.
Sorry, no,
True,
we
yeah,
didn't.
it might definitely
We
be
didn't.
frustrated.
No, well, I haven't heard the word bullies from the
It's
Italians.
been reported as All Black Bullies, so
Never said. Never said.
So what did he say? Just, I'm happy to answer the question. I just wouldn't want to know whether it was right.
He said they're going to try. He said the All Blacks will try and
Intimidate and bully us.
Okay, well, that's rugby. Everyone's trying to do that. You know, they'll be trying to do that to us. It's a physical game. Look, I don't think it's not a lack of respect from anyone. It's just both teams. There's a lot at stake. This was always going to be a game that we knew we had to get really excited about and play well in. And you know, regardless of what happened, and I said it before, regardless of what happened in round one, this was always a game that we had to go out there and perform well, building into what we want to be, where we want to be later on. But we also knew this is a game we've got to go out and play well and win. And so nothing's changed. The good thing is that we're playing a team that's confident, so there's no surprises, and they've earned that. You know, the last 2 years we've seen a lot of growth in their game, and I think I made the point after the Six Nations. I thought they were one of the highlights of the Six Nations, the way they played and the competitiveness of all their games, and so we're expecting a tough battle.
Ardie, you seemed a little bit amused by that. I guess that, you know, physicality is part of the game, right? And you've faced plenty of it in recent tests. If you're not physical, surely you're not doing your job.
Yeah, and if you're not physical, it's going to be a long day. So both teams are, you know, going to try and bring the best on Friday night. So it's going to be good, and we respect Italy. And like Foz said, they've played some awesome footy their last couple of games. So it's a great challenge for us.
Ardie, the Italian back row is very fast on the rucks. For explaining for a large audience, what's the key about this battle of switching on the rucks?
Yeah, I think we just have to look after the ball, and we've seen over the last couple of games that the ball can get quite slippery in contact. So you know, we've got to look after our breakdown, and I don't think it's just their loose cherry that's good over the ball. It's their whole team. They're good over the ball. So that's a threat that, you know, we kind of have identified, and we need to nullify that.
In terms of your locks, the selection is a pretty clear indication of how you view the picking order at the moment?
it's the order that we have for this game. I won't commit to saying it's the absolute pecking order, but we just feel that right now it's the right one for this game. I think we've got 4 locks who we're pretty happy with their form. We've got Brody, who's been obviously coming back from injuries, missed a bit of rugby, played a little bit in that France game, and Namibia got 55 minutes, so we really feel he needs more time. So it's a look at that, and let's see what happens the next week or so.
Speaking of pecking orders or not, Dan, what have Dane and Cameron showed you to win their spots on the bench?
Played well, trained well. Been really impressed with Colsey. He's he's leading really well on the training park. I think when he's been playing well, and we just believe that composure later in the game is going to be good for us. And lots made of Colsey and his fiery attitudes and all that, but he brings a lot of composure to this group because he's passionate. He talks well, and he's been doing that. So look, I've said it all along, we've got 3 hookers that we're happy to start all 3 of them and happy for all 3 to go on the bench. We just feel for this game, and we're expecting a lot of emotion out there, and to have the likes of Dane and the 2 Sams on the bench to come off and to bring a slightly level-headed approach in that last part is going to be important for us. As with Cam, I think he's played his way into that spot.
Ian, do the high stakes of this game, we all know what they are, does that sort of take romance out of it? I.e. Sam Whitelock, he breaks Richie McCaw's record. It would have been obviously nice at the start, but he's on the bench, he plays that role, has played that role well for you this year.
Yeah, I don't think it takes the romance out of it. I just think that, and this is a credit to Sam, he's making every game he's achieving something new at the moment. Like he equalled a record last week, he's going to beat it this week. Then he's got 150 coming up, and then he's got the most capped All Black in the World Cup. It's just every day is a bit of a statement of something that he's achieving, and so we want to honour that achievement because he's earned that. But I felt like as a team, we talked a lot about it last week before the Namibian game. We respect that. We respect but we'll do all our celebration of that achievement after this game. Right now, I think what the team needs to achieve is bigger than the individual, but wow, it's very much on your mind, and it's a very special occasion.
You spoke about Italy's growth, and you really think they can be a danger given the stats and the history between the 2 teams?
Well, history means nothing, really. I mean, history is yesterday's newspaper, isn't it? It's not tomorrow's, and so what we've seen is that we can only go on. We try to prepare for our team opponent playing us at their best, and what we've seen them leading France into the last 10 minutes of a Six Nations game. We've seen them pushing Ireland right to the end. So if you look at through their recent form, they're playing well, and that's the Italy that we expect to turn up, and we've got to make sure that we're really clear on that. Looking back to history, the last 20 or 30 years doesn't really mean a lot come Friday, and I think it's a positive sign for Italy. They've taken a strategy of growing a young group coming through. They've clearly decided to change the way they play and to say, well, let's risk a little bit and see what happens, and it's worked well for them.
And across the ditch, I know that you focused on this game, but across the ditch there's a bit going on in Australian rugby. Just wonder, like, you've observed Australian rugby for so long, you guys got a centralised model, something that could see the Rugby Australia board overthrown as they go through these kind of choppy waters. Would you have a message around the strengths of that, but also how you see Aussie rugby at the moment, what they need to do?
No. Void of messages when it comes to boards and stuff like that. So, look, that sort of question I'm happy to comment on afterwards. But, right now we've got enough on our plate. World Cups are pressure points in a whole lot of areas, aren't they? And people get emotive and they try to solve everyone's problems. I've learned that a little bit of fresh air is actually not a bad thing. Everyone can breathe a little bit. There's most teams are only a couple of good performances away from everyone flipping over and loving the structure and the setup. So they've got some good people I know in that group, and I'm sure they're working hard to get there.
Can you explain what Shannon brings to the group and what perhaps you've been missing by his absence?
Oh, look, I won't say what we've been missing with his absence, but I will talk about Shannon. You know, like he's clearly, he's been challenged on the role of a sixth this year. You know, I think he's been there a few years. We've challenged him through the rugby championship and really been delighted with he's brought in many ways a simplicity to his game. He's just focusing really on his, you know, the quality of his ball carry, the quality of his tackle and his connections with the likes of Ardie and Sam and now Dalton this week. And to me, he's just improved his work rate and improved his quality in those two areas, and that's all we want out of him for Friday.
What sort of a lift does the playing group get when you bring a guy like Sam Kane back into the 23? I suppose both from a playing perspective and a leadership perspective.
Yeah, it's massive. You know, just as you know, the last couple of weeks he's kind of been on the sidelines of trainings, and you do realise how much of a presence he has when he is, and he's running alongside you. So, like Coach said, it's awesome having Sammy back, and for him to come on and bring that calmness and that coolness and that leadership will be hugely important for us.
Jason said yesterday that he wants the All Black forwards to lay down a marker for this World Cup, to go to another level that you really haven't. Do you feel that collective kind of responsibility and challenge?
Yeah, 100%. Every game we're always trying to lay a marker for us as a pack, and you know, we lay the foundations and we allow our backs to do what they do. So we're always, you know, on the edge of our seats and trying to challenge each other, challenge ourselves to be better.
Do you feel inspired by what? I know you don't take inspiration from other teams necessarily, but Ireland and South Africa, great forward battle, you know, wonderful contest. As players, do you feel inspired watching that?
Yeah, you know, it's kind of one of the first games I've watched, you know, like other teams play, and it was actually nice to enjoy it and see that. And yeah, we all know, that's the level, and hopefully, you know, yeah, we can match that.
One more?
And then can I also ask, just in terms of the stake for the Southern Hemisphere rugby as well, how important is this game for you in the context that Super Rugby is perhaps not what it once was?
I'm going to answer it the same way I answered the last question. You know, I think this game is important for us. This is international rugby, not Super Rugby, and that's what World Cups are about. So, you know, I don't want to get into philosophising how important the structure is and all that sort of stuff. For us as a New Zealand team, as an All Black team, this World Cup's just about us performing and to a no excuse mode, and just making sure that we play the way we want to play. And, you know, we're preparing well for that. And so we're a simple bunch.
So, thank you everyone.
Thank you. Sure.
Et là, c'est au tour d'autres joueurs de poser. C'est
Oh, got the A team.
c'est un petit peu tout plat, qui a tant de changements, récupérer des rôles. C'est les joueurs qui répondent aux questions.
Jordy, nice to be back.
Yeah, it is nice. Yeah, been out for a little while now, but yeah, just grateful to get an opportunity again with the body coming right. So yeah, big challenge. So it's been a good week.
A bit frustrating, a few weeks trying to get that knee back to full strength.
Yeah, of course. I've been lucky enough over the course of my career to not miss too much footy, and had an injury-free year, and so for something little to pop up at this time of year, it's frustrating, but also grateful to be back in the middle of ball play, coming up against a good Italy side. So yeah, very grateful.
Just on the back of that, Italy very much seeing a bit of a team on the rise. what have you seen from them, I suppose, over the past couple of years, and what sort of challenge do they present on Friday?
Yeah, Italy are a great team. They beat Australia, I think last year it was, and they've been real competitive in the Six Nations. They're a team that uses the ball a lot. They've got no fear, and Kieran Crowley's doing a great job with them. So yeah, they're a team who have some great attacking structures, and yeah, they've kept us busy this week for sure. So looking forward to it.
Do you know Kieran much as a Taranaki lad, Robbie?
I do, yeah. Our neighbouring farmers with the Crowleys, Alan and Susan Crowley, which is Kieran's brother. So we've got great family ties with the Crowleys.
What kind of rugby do you expect Italy to play, Kieran coaching?
Yeah, they'll be very passionate as Italians, but one thing we've seen in the past few years, they don't give up. They stay in games for long periods of time. A lot of the Six Nation games they've been up at half time, and they've stayed in it for a very long time as well. So they use the ball a lot, which I said before, they run and kick from their own goal line, so we're going to be on all game.
Rico, is it good to have the big boy back in the inside channel?
We'll see Friday, but yeah, look, obviously it's awesome to have him back, and I think we've formed a pretty good combo in the past, and sort of these last couple of weeks is just about him getting his body right, and training's gone real smooth this weekend. Yeah, it's just going to be exciting to see him back in the World Cup again.
From your mindset, could you just talk through how you see the extent of the challenge this weekend? Obviously, what hangs over this fixture and potential, advancement or not.
Yeah, look, I think I'm not focused on the outcome as such. It's probably not as prominent as the performance that we're after. I think the way we've trained and sort of that bye week put us in good stead, sort of rolling off the learnings from that French game into Namibia. We've built real nicely, and we've put new things in place, different things in place, and I think the performance is what we're going to be focused on, and if we get that right, then the outcome we're confident we'll take care of it.
Rick, some players can get a little bit antsy when they're injured. What's Geordie been like over the last few weeks?
Very antsy. They do get antsy. Yeah, but no, he's been all good. Obviously helping the backs out quite a bit, where he can't sort of be in the training as such. He's helping our 12s. He's helping our back three. It's a bit of a defense wizard these days, and he's even helped me out as early as this morning. So look, his input's been second to none, not only on the field but off it as well.
Geordie Harley Five is coming off the bench for Italy. Have you been able to dish up some info for the forwards about how that might play out when they play for you in Super this year?
Yeah, Hami was awesome for us this year. Not often you get an injury replacement guy coming for Super Rugby that's a test player, and I'm stoked to see Hami back. And also Toa Halafi, he used to be at Taranaki Bulls a few years back, and now he's on the bench for Italy. He's played the last few years, and he's a dynamic loose forward. So yeah, a couple of Kiwi connections there.
Jordi, Italy's got two Mission Impossible. It's wrong to say that maybe France is less impossible than than this one.
What was the question, sorry?
Italy's got two Mission Impossible, you and France. Is it wrong to say that maybe France is a bit less impossible than playing against New Zealand?
They can interpret it the way they want, but if they need to know something we've treated this week, and Italy with the utmost respect, we understand that we have to win against Italy, and that's the bottom line. And they're an improved side, and we see them as a genuine threat. They've got great attacking shape, and there's quality players across the board. So, and yeah, they're well coached. So it's not going to be easy.
Jordy, you mentioned the timing of the injury and frustrating it was. Is it something you're going to have to manage throughout the tournament, or is it sort of good to go?
It's good to go, brother. Firing.
Hopefully not. I think hopefully it's behind me now, the uncertainty of footy and what's ahead.
Rico, how would you describe the confidence levels in the All Blacks at the moment? Obviously, the first game, but you've had a confidence run against Namibia. How would you describe the, your mental state?
In my point of view, our mental state is real good, and our confidence doesn't waver off a loss. We knew where we went wrong, and that's sort of the exciting part that we get as All Blacks, is we get a chance to rectify, and there's no bigger occasion than this Friday, so our confidence hasn't wavered, and we know how good we can be, and we're looking to show that on Friday.
Surely, RWC and Marcel have looked between 10, 12 and 15 this year, which positions obviously a little bit about. What do you sort of like about what they've been doing?
Yeah, when you come up against like dual playmakers, obviously Gabisi's left-footed, Tommaso right. It's a different dimension to the way you got to defend these teams, and when they can swing to a certain side of the ruck, your backfield coverage and defence is going to be on all the time. So we understand they see the game like 10s, and 10s see the game differently. So they'll be able to attack us in all different areas. So and then a couple of dynamic wings in Kaputso and Ioane, so they've got some threats all over the park.
Geordie, is it time to express yourself as All Blacks, or time to just win a game of rugby, or win a rugby, or good luck?
Yeah, hopefully in trying to win a game we can express ourselves. We, like Rico alluded to before, we got a harsh lesson against France, even harsher one against South Africa a month or so ago, but we've done a lot of good work in the past few weeks, and we believe in what we're trying to do. Hopefully we can see a bit of that on Friday, and that's all we're looking at. So yeah, hopefully within our game you can see some individuals express themselves. That'd be nice.
Rico, do you want to sort of lay down a bit of a marker here? Obviously, we talk about the Ireland South Africa game. France have done it. Is it time for New Zealand to now get everyone talking a little bit more about the All Blacks, or do you love the way you're a little bit under the radar?
People can talk about all the teams they want, but at the end of the day, the performances, we always say performance is king, and we know the performances, if we get our stuff right, what we can do and what we're capable of. So it's not so much making a statement game, as I touched on before. We're focused solely on performance, and we know how good we are when or if we can get there right. So yeah, you guys can talk about all the teams you want.
Rico, on the performance aspect of things, last game versus Namibia, you took 12 penalties, same number with France. Apart from winning or losing, what's the mindset regarding penalties approaching to this game?
Yeah, I think obviously probably against France was things that we could have avoided. I think back to the few high ball issues and timing issues, but I think just our discipline all around has been good, in our sort of the outlay of the penalties that we've had. There have been a lot of avoidable ones, which is positive. Not so much the ones where we can't avoid, but it's stuff that we can control. So as you said, we've had a bye week, just coming off a bye week. We've definitely touched on our discipline, and we've seen just in the game so far how crucial penalties are in winning matches.
Is it a goal like before the first half, not more than 4 penalties or something? You fix yourself